when he said there's people who have a 160, I mean, he was pointing out a person who had 160 IQ, but they're completely useless, and this annoys people. I ain't gonna lie, that's me. Like, I don't know my IQ. I actually don't give a fuck about it. I'm more of other stuff. I'm more tied into other shit besides my intelligence. Um, but man, like I've, oh my god, like it's just one of the most ironic things is that a whole group of people versus an individual. And at the end of the story, the individual turned out to be telling the truth. There's a lot of us that do that shit where we like you feel like actually I knew the game. That's basically it's so many things in my head I can't get it like clearly stated clearly, but like I got so many things to write about. But growing up, like I'm like, okay, then I didn't know how to use my brightness to the best of my ability because that's not my passion. I'm like every time I'm in tutoring, I, not to brag, but I pretty much come up with the answers way before the tutor has, and she'd be like, oh I was wrong. Oh my god, like I didn't know I was working with Einstein. Now I'm making this up. I could take y'all to meet her. And I'm not saying I'm Einstein. I'm not saying. I'm saying, it's kind of like when somebody says you have the knowledge but you don't apply yourself, or they used to say that about Tupac. Some people I heard about rumors. Oh, if Tupac, so some dude in my class, for example, it kind of like made me want to like refute what the fuck he said, but I ain't give a fuck. I didn't care. I didn't really care too much to do it. I'm like, okay, then that's what you think. But he said we was talking about all kind of stuff like China economy and stuff, and what's the difference in that. Then it got into like what can black people do collect. Then it was a great show. I call it a show because it really was. Only I wasn't the star, but I'm fine with that. But he said something like, if Tupac listened to his mom, he still would be here. There's some truth to that. There's some truth. Okay? But at the same time, like Tupac, I said lived. I didn't say survived. I lived in my truth. I lived it. I did what I did, said what I said, went through what I went through, stood on it, and spoke truth to power. Got, reasonably enough. Not all my motherfucking, outbursts were justified, but aside from, like, the reaction, because people, if anybody tries to refute what I'm saying, if you know me, oh, why do you do this when you react? No, it's not about my reaction, it's about my message. And that's what Tupac said in the speech. If somebody, I don't give a fuck if you the closest sibling in the world to me. If you come in my face talking about why you reacted this way, well, first of all, why you always focus on the reaction? This is exactly what I'm talking about. So now, what I could do is react no more. And if you break my arm, you better break the other one because it's real because it's no different than when Tupac addressed the lady in the audience when he was saying a speech, or he wasn't really saying a speech, speaking from the heart. This motherfucker was like, she was like, you can't, oh, no cursing allowed. He was like, yo, this is my life, I'm telling you. He said, I'm sorry. I don't mean no disrespect, I'm sorry, but you can't be more offended about my cursing than what's really going on now. That's real, y'all. That's real. And the crowd cheered. And that's exactly how I motherfucking feel. I honestly, like, we sometimes come off like, aggressive, and, black people are passionate. And if you mistake my passion for anger, then you're not used to passion. oh, Tony's angry. I ain't angry. I'm angry is easy to spot. I'm passionate, you know. So it's easy to confuse what you are. But honestly, you shouldn't give a fuck about what people. I don't give a fuck if you in court. Like, you have to like learn how to trust your own truth and trust yourself. Like, that's the ability I've always had. And this is something. This is why motherfuckers watch my videos, are wondering why I'm not, quote unquote famous or whatever, whatever. Some people like, a lot of people like my fucking rants. I'm not 25,000 on YouTube or whatever, whatever. But one of the reasons why is that I don't put myself out there, or I didn't put myself out there as much, especially in the last few years. It's so many people in my broadcast was like, oh my god, this and this, that, this and that, and I would tell a few of my reasons. And once you get, in other words, once you get to know a person's reasons and their intentions and the between the events and stuff, that's when you can make a conclusive statement. Not go off word is bond or I believe. Okay, you believe. Did you know belief is a can also be a delusion? So that's exactly how I feel, always will feel, and nobody can take that away from me because this is who I am. This is who you are. So if someone's not meant for you, they're not meant for you. If someone is meant for you, they're meant for you. But overall, we all change, and we all change almost by every second, to every day, to every hour, to every year. And the more you're conscious of, okay, I've changed, or have I changed? The people that I'm gonna be a little harsh. Hard, people who are good at playing deception. People who are good at agenda seeking, they have to play the game. So what happens is they will have multiple faces. I'm not talking about in the moment. I'm talking about in their life, in their lifestyle. And once you point it out, like, oh, not out of like exploitation only, but out of like whatever your intention is. You're like, oh, he with her because she paid for his shit. Like, oh, the things he told you, or he opened up to you, he trusted you, or she trusted you. Like, everybody's deceptive. So, ironically, somebody would say, to like, let's play devil's advocate. Somebody might say, oh, what if you're an actor? You can act like you like your job and please everybody. No, it's something called reality, and actors act when the camera is on. When the camera's off, if you're a person with integrity, you're not going to do that most of the time. Hell, you can. This is how you can tell you're an insecure person. In terms of this, you're always in the same bag. You're always in the same exact bag with the same people. And sometimes you have to realize, like, not to look at insecurity as a totally bad thing. I learned to look at insecurity as a good thing in some ways, because I'm not one of these people that runs around and say, man, like, I hate the fact that my cousin don't like me. Like, what do I do? Like, I'm not you. I have a cloth. I'm cut from a different cloth. I have the ability to be self-appointed. Always have, and that means that you that's practicing self-love. And it can't be phony. It has to be 100% genuine. If you're truly honest with yourself, that's the only time it's achieved. But when you fake like you got it all together, fake like you're happy, fake like, people pick it up fast. So if you're an insecure person who has the same thing with the same people, and all your relationships go to shit, then you have to not point fingers at people when really you never point fingers at yourself. Because I'm speaking from experience. There were like, even though I had my issues and they were valid, like being bipolar, being manic, having endless amounts of mania episodes, which some of them I'm proud of. I don't give a fuck. But also some of them I'm not. Um, you know, me acknowledging it brings closure. And I'm not the type of person to, say who I am to people's faces 24/7. Unless I'm trying to like make a inspirational speech or make a notion or a joke or whatever. But generally speaking, I'm very guarded because of what I went through and what I see in the world. Very valid, very valid reasons. And if you don't want to be in my life, thank God, because I'm better off without you than I'm better off with you. I never was good with you. I'm better off without you. And if you're real about that, about the people or person you're around or you see, then it's kind of like Nikola Tesla said. You want to understand the universe, think in terms of frequency. That's kind of how I like conduct myself. I try my best not to surround myself with frequencies that are pretty much like, say, if I'm not two-faced with you, and I know that it's about if you know it or not. It's like Malcolm X said it. He said, don't be so quick to condemn others of what they don't know, because there was a time where you didn't know what you know. But arrogant motherfuckers don't care. And I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking to people who actually want to change or look to change in terms of that they find that as a flaw in themselves. It's simple. It sounds simple, but it's not. It's complicated, and yeah. So for example, somebody might ask me, what's one of the reasons of speaking in the camera? I would say one of the reasons I'm speaking to a camera is because I know, in case I don't make it in what I'm doing, in case I don't make it in the careers I want to pursue, and this goes back to pursuit of happiness type of talk I was saying before earlier in the video. I like, you're so like, I want to. It's because people don't want to acknowledge the works. They only acknowledge the results. This is why I don't get along with simple-minded people. I don't get along with simple-minded people. I don't get along with people who are superficial. I don't get along with people who are so inadequate of your progress and your stories. They're so in tune with what the fuck they think. And on my face it shows fuck you. In my energy it shows thank you for whatever you done. I'm sure you thank me for whatever you done, but overall I don't fuck with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I remember one time I went to an acting audition, and it was like two people. I think it was a guy, mom, and somebody else. And they presumed to look happy. And the energy in the room, I felt like, wow, like, this feels good. I'm around people of my kind. I hope I find, not only friends, but real friends. Like, people I can actually call a friend. Because you got to earn me. At this age, it's not like I'm a 12-year-old kid. But if I say friend, I can use it in different ways, and I can mean it in different ways. That's the thing, like, before I continue, like, people are more complicated than you think. Just because somebody says buddy doesn't mean they mean the exact definition. Sometimes it's other stuff besides that. So if I say I was trying to be a friend, that's just a personification. But man, like, the energy of the room felt very comfortable. And I kind of like being uncomfortable, at that point in my life, especially before, because I like to grow and learn about myself. Aside from the fact that a lot of those times I was harming myself by doing things out of my character and stuff like that. Um, impulse. I have a hyperactive sex drive, and I try to keep that self control. And I'm disciplined enough to. I'm disciplined. Um, so after I had the interview, he's like, "Come back next time. We look forward to having you. Whatever, whatever." He gave me a paper. I left. Said goodbye to the people. This one girl was smirking me. I was about to stick up my middle finger, but you know, um, but went outside, was walking, and just like I did in high school, in ninth grade, when I was in the acting class, same exact intent going in and going out. I was in, but I was out. I was like, I ain't going back. I ain't going back. And these are like experiences or things that people not only can say, it's because it's experiences that they can't say, or they think they can't say it. But sometimes there's always gonna be that one. How do you say it? That one. I'll just be simple. That one situation where you use whatever that's inside. You're like, damn, why I ain't go back? You do know why you ain't go back. There's plethora of reasons. It's not that you didn't think you can do it. It's that you put so much pressure on yourself. You see, I never lacked confidence in who I was. I was one of the most thrilled people you can be around. I guess you could say I'm probably that now, but I don't lack confidence in myself overall. I may like doubt myself here and there. I have a lot of doubt, but I also have a lot of confidence. But that just goes back to, like I said before, people are complicated. If you're confident all the time, 24/7, you lying to me. I don't believe you. That's a persona. That's a facade. Get out of your fucking ego. That's not you. You're sometimes depressed. You're sometimes mad. You're sometimes happy. Anybody who tries to make me feel like it's not nothing, you shouldn't be this, and I'm like, I'm feeling this right now, or I'm thinking this right now, that makes me not even want to have you as my day one. I'd be cool with you, but I don't want you as my day one. And if you're mad at me, then I don't care. That's just me. But overall, you gotta know how to play the game. You know, like specifically in high school, I had a lot of, I gathered a lot of signs of, kids not knowing what the fuck they want to do. And I saw like an interview with Oprah with this guy. I forgot what the fuck I forgot what his name was, but he basically said something like, I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to copyright. He said something like, people when people act like when people say they don't know what they want or truly want, they're lying to themselves, or they're not looking deep enough or hard enough. It's true. Like, you have reasons why you have self-doubt, and when you're around people, especially family don't let you be down for more than 5 seconds. And to me, I have a problem with that. If my kid is crying, I'll let them be until they're done crying, because they need to learn about themselves. They need to grow. They need to evolve. No, I would never tell somebody to not feel what they feel, and that goes a long way. That shit goes a long way. I don't believe that I was born to please people. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't go back. It's like, damn, like, or one of the reasons. I'm just thinking like about it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I don't want to do school because I don't want to, prove to the system, man. Like, I guess you could say it's a lot of it comes from the ego, but at the same time, it's still valid. You can try to make me feel bad all you want. You could try to say you're not gonna be successful. That will not invalidate my reasons. That will not invalidate what the fuck I stand on. I don't give a fuck how loud you talk. I don't give a fuck what you do. Objectively, it makes more sense than you think. And I like some of my friends who graduating soon, and you know, they they thank me for helping them out, even when it comes to who the fuck they are, and you know, what they want and why they're in school. They like, I'm not to say don't go to school. I'm not. Let me preface that. Let me be clear. I'm saying some you just know bullshit when you see it sometimes. You're like, if I want to like if I want to be let me see talented singer and make it, why am I in college? Why am I in college? Oh, I'm in college because what? Besides the obvious answer or expectation, or it's something to fall back on. Of course, go to college. That's something that you can fall back on. Of course, do it. But the other reason is what? You see where I'm coming from? But I don't know. Like, I think that this video is very powerful. But you know, one thing I do keep in mind is people's struggles just as much as their accomplishments. I'm actually I'm obsessed with, okay, why did I not go back to that acting class, or why did I not pursue this, and why did I let myself get in my way? That's the thing. I'm one of those people who are so who is supposedly so like in some areas pretty bright. I actually don't like talking about it because I like to be modest. But I'm just saying what people have given me and shown me. And I mean, you might say, don't you know yourself? Like, don't you see it? I'm like, yeah, but everybody comprehends your spirit, your soul, your mind, your gifts, your talents in their own way. So that's why I say, for me, in my mind, I don't like to measure myself. I just like to keep going. You know, if I like something, I'm gonna learn how to do it. I don't care if I'm not working. I don't have to work to be validated. I don't have to work to feel worthy. I have the mentality of, if I'm so down on my luck, so down, and I somehow make it up or a little bit better, and somehow make it even higher, and I reach millions and millions of people, I'll change so many fucking lives doing that just by speaking on my story. There's so many strong people out there that just doubt themselves. They be like, damn, like, what the fuck? I could have punched him in the nose because he hit me. Like, but there's many reasons why you ain't punch him in the nose, but you just hold yourself back because you knew you were wrong, or you're like, okay, it's no reason to fight. But that's if you have reasons. If you not reason. That's if you're listening to your reasonable side. But yeah, it's I'm gonna call this Rant with Rant, and man, y'all better be prepared for these next type of videos, cause I need to start posting videos more, cause yeah. And let me say one thing I learned about myself that I worked on. In other words, my former I don't know what you call her. I just call her boss because she had a specific name for what she does. And it was computer class. Probably one of my favorite jobs I ever had, aside from the last one I had. That was atrocious. That shit was really smooth. Just it fit me. It fit me. It's in a lot of ways more than the next one, right? And it was through email. She said, we just finished up doing a movie, and she was like, Wait, it was not through emails. It was through phone. I'm thinking of email because I'm so used to emailing her back and forth and stuff that I forgot we used to talk on the phone sometimes. She said, uh, you go to the event, the screening for your movie, because it's this place where they was having two, and I was like, no, I ain't feel like going, cause like I don't know, I'm modest to a fault. I'm very modest to a fault. Like I may have this great like big personality, but I'm very modest to a fault. But she said, Antonio, you gotta stop self-sabotaging yourself. And I was like, I don't see it just as self-sabotaging. I don't see it just as that. I see it as, you know, sometimes you're modest, sometimes you just want to kick back, relax, and chat. No, I'm just playing. But I'm very modest to a fault, and that's not my excuse. But I ain't gonna lie, even if it is, then fuck it. It's an excuse. Fuck it. It's an excuse. Sue me. And from that day on, I didn't forget what she said, cause you would think like just cause you are a self-aware person, beyond measure, and you know what you're doing. You may not made the best financial decisions or whatever, or school decisions, but you knew what the fuck you were doing. You knew that there was other paths, and you knew that the conventional way, when the conventional people or conventional minded people would not approve because they're so used to the path and they don't know any other way, and they're like, man, maybe I should figure out another way to make money. Well, who said it was anything about making money on my end? Who said that? You said that. I didn't say that. You said that. This is my narrative. That's your narrative. This is my life. That's your life. My narrative is not your narrative. My way is not your way. I'm an individual first. And this defiance overshadows a person's intelligence. It's hard for some people to even listen to you, because even if you're not aggressive, you just have a strong argument. You have a strong voice. You have a strong say. You have a powerful way of life. And kind of like Jordan Peterson said, he said there's reasons why a person with a 160 IQ is somewhat useless to modern day people, and that gets them. I'm not trying to say word for word what he said. I don't want to like misconstrue what he's saying. I'm paraphrasing. And they hate that. They don't like that. That's exactly how I felt all my life. So when she said stop self-sabotaging, you know, I would never imagine me self-sabotaging, because I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna get anxious, I don't feel like going, I'm lazy. It turns out I was self-sabotaging. I've been self-sabotaging since day one. Like I've accomplished stuff, I've done stuff, I've done a lot of good stuff, I've done a lot of great stuff, academically, I bet, you know, or whatever, but touch lives, touch people, and we all do on a daily basis, but we just don't acknowledge it, and we just don't see it. We just so used to people taking in and not expressing what you gave them, or there's some people who only talk about what you did to them that's bad, and they don't acknowledge the good. But that's them. Ignore them. A lot of times it's toxic family members. But from that day on, that's one of those things that stuck to my brain. I'm like, that's some good shit. I get it. I get it. I have a math scientist type of. I have a mad scientist way of dwelling into shit. I go deep, and when I go deep, I go far, and I dwell on it. I go in, and then I try to learn. Go in. I'm a lunatic like that. I'm not ashamed of it. So why isn't a person like me not as useful to society on the surface? Well, it turns out that you are and you aren't at the same time, because your way of doing it is not conventional, and also your way of doing it is not the easiest way. Me becoming a comic, me becoming a stand-up comedian, that takes a lot of fucking balls. but any comedian to become a comedian. And honestly, I think I'm a speak in turn. I think real comedians, though. Let me preface that. Real comedians, I think it takes real balls to become a real comedian. And what a real comedian to me is somebody who doesn't steal jokes, somebody who speaks their truth and their story, and speaks from their experience, and stands on it. That's a real comedian. That's a real comedian. But it takes a while for some people who are comedians to get to a point where they're like, you know what, fucking, let me start talking about me. Let me start talking about my life. Let me start talking about what happened. Let me start talking about, you know, ideals and solutions. Let me start talking about, you know, I don't know what this shit is. You know, you feel me? So, I always had a self-sabotaging flaw. And I think that comes from being so too hard on myself and making sure. I became a person who didn't give a fuck if I gave my best effort to a person who was like making sure. Let me make sure. Let me go back. Let me make sure. Because the more you're like that, you're like, the more you learn. You're like, let me start like selecting and not only that, dissecting. And I'm gonna keep dissecting. And I'm gonna dissect until I piss you off. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna dissect. Now, I'm not only doing it for me, I'm doing it for, maybe there's something to this shit. Maybe there's something to people who have this ability to dissect on a maddening level. And it's not that I can't do daily activities, it's that I choose not to do the shit. Like if I got a situation where I had to wash my own clothes, like anything else, like tying a shoe, I'm gonna wash my clothes. I'm gonna learn how. It's not rocket science. Only if your parent don't let you wash your clothes, that's a different story. And then they contradict themselves by saying, you should wash your clothes, yet I need to go pay for it. That don't make no damn sense. But generally speaking, a parent was like, you know, you can learn how to wash clothes in mine. You know, this I know, and not only know that I have hope and faith that there is some good people in this world. So I'm gonna end this video, and I don't know what else I'm gonna do. And definitely I'm gonna publicize this one. I got a lot of videos that I haven't publicized, and that goes back to me being modest. And it's unfortunate that you learn more about me or yourself in this one video than you do talking to a close sibling or a close family member, or a close friend. There's some people who are more close with their friends than they are with their family. You know, so it be like that. A friend tells me that all the time. That's her quote. It be like that. But yeah, like I'm most likely I might start working soon. You know, and I know that if somebody's like, play devil's advocate again. You should have acted when you was on that job. You should fake it till you make it. You obviously don't know who I am. I don't give a damn if I'm in the bottom. I'ma find a way. I don't care. I'ma find a way. That's just how I am. I don't care. I'ma find a way. And if you disagree, then disagree. But that's you. My life doesn't revolve around you. My life doesn't revolve around proving you right or wrong. Like, it may be in a moment, like I want to prove you wrong, but in my mind, on a daily basis, I don't care about proving you wrong. I can care less, especially when I'm with my friends or traveling, which I need to do more. And I mean physically, but I have reasons for that too. Like, you know, but that's another topic video. I'm just kidding. But I also want to add this. I said it earlier in the video, but it's important for me to restate it because this is extremely powerful. Do not expect those who misunderstand you to be the same people who hold you back. Because I'm holding myself back by stressing myself out, by helping you understand me. If you don't understand me, then that's cool. But people only see, this is with anything, people only see the surface, or they want to, they choose to see the surface. That's the thing. We choose what we want to see, right? Perception. Some people don't want to see the struggles. They just want to see the results. That's all they care about. Do you have your diploma? Do you have money? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a wife? Do you have And that's cool, that's them. But personally, that gets on my goddamn nerve. So it gets to a point where I'm mature enough to now to be like, no, and just keep going. Just keep walking. Because I don't want to, I just don't want to, I'm tired of like pissing off predictable people when I say what I need to say. You know, and you take your break, you know, in that regard. If you breathe that way, you just take a break. It's not that you're not who you are. It's just that you take a break. You're like, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, 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 and you keep pushing because you don't have time. You do not have time. I repeat, you do not have time. Word is bond. You do not have time to convince the world of what you want them to see you as. And ironically, that was one of my sometimes you overcompensate in that. But yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. And look for 3 type of videos to come your way. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.